This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
On this Vanilla Funk edition, when it comes to the afternoon cool of Freddie and Harry, presented by Progressive Insurance with Harry Douglas and Freddie Coleman on Sirius XM Channel 80. Don't forget about us and tune in always so that's smart. Speak of yours, they'll play ESPN Radio. We know each and every night you got things going on. You want to know some things? You want to be learned. You can't be learned about everything because you got a lot of stuff going on. Lucky for you, that's where Freddie and Harry come in.
They may not be the top stories of the day.
In other news.
But you need to be in the know. This is In Other News.
Well, LeBron James is about to play for the Los Angeles Lakers against the Indiana Pacers, and that coverage beginning after we're done here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Mark Kestisher and Corey Alexander will have the call. Well, he was on the Pat McAfee show, an interview that was recorded last night that they replayed today, and it got a lot of attention, especially when he put it out there that he'll know exactly when the time is right for him to walk away from the NBA game.
It's popping up more and more every year because obviously I know I'm on the other side of the hill than the previous side, so I've done this for a long time, and then obviously I know it start like, okay, now you get to the top of that roller coaster and it's like, okay, when is this damn roller coaster going to go down?
Kennywood, yeah.
So I understand that. So I don't know, man. It's all about, for real, for me, it's my mind. If I could continue to, I am all about the process. I am all about the process, and if it gets to the point where I don't feel like showing up to the arena 5 hours in advance, or I don't feel like training, or I don't feel like studying the scout sheet of guys, if it gets to that point, I know, you know what, Brian, it's a wrap.
Most players know. They know when that time is up, and like LeBron just said, when he gets to a point to where he doesn't want to study things the way he studied them right now and being honed in and locked in on the opponent, then that's when you're probably going to see him retire.
Whenever that happens, you're still a good ways away.
I feel the same way.
When you're still a top 10 player your 21st year in the NBA.
At 40.
At 40. About to be 41. When you are still a top 10 player at that age in that sport, where he's getting older, but he's not getting much weaker. He's a little slower, but not that much. It must be something to be, in my opinion, the best athlete that the NBA has ever seen.
There's a reason why he's deemed as a chosen one.
Yes, he keeps being that chosen one.
Yeah.
He keeps being chosen. Yeah, we want him. We want him on our basketball team. Don't go away, LeBron. Please tell LeBron don't go away. He's not going away anytime soon until he knows that he can't play at that level. Then he will walk away. Kermit the Frog is one of the great iconic figures when you think about it in American television, American education. Well done. And very, very funny. And also, any kid that's grown up knows about Kermit the Frog here. Well, he's going to be the University of Maryland's commencement speaker on May 21st. Now, they said they're honoring the long history between Maryland University and the creator of the Muppets, Jim Henson, the late Jim Henson, who was a home economics major at the University of Maryland when he graduated in 1960. He created the first version of Kermit the Frog on that campus in 1955 from half a ping pong ball and one of his mother's coats. That's how Kermit the Frog was created.
I wonder, is Miss Piggy going to be by his side?
Are they married?
No, but we know
Miss
Piggy. We know Mrs. Piggy loves Kermit.
I know, but that don't mean he got to bring her.
And Kermit loves Mrs. Piggy.
That's understandable. Don't mean he got to bring her. He didn't put a ring on it.
But just to make sure that he's okay and everything is going smoothly.
Kermit's been fine since 1955 for the past 70 years. I think he'll be okay May 21st.
Maybe he might need Miss Piggy.
Well, sometimes you bring the pig commencement. Sometimes the pig will bring the commencement. He's Harry Douglas and Freddie Coleman. Lakers at Pacers with Mark Kestisher and Corey Alexander on the call, the NBA and ESPN Radio. This has been Freddie and Harry on the mighty ESPN Radio. Take care, God bless, and as always, keep cool. And Kermit the Frog here.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text LIKE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text LIKE to 42424. That's LIKE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We're in the middle of the madness.
Proctor, the three. Proctor fired up.
From the first four to the national championship.
A lob to Cooper to punch it down.
All the hoops action will be heard here.
It's been the Tyrese Proctor Show.
The road to San Antonio is driven by WakeMed, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You know what's fun about Ram Truck Month at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington? You behind the wheel of a brand new 2025 Ram 1500. With savings as much as $15,000 off a new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie, you can have all the fun driving this powerful, rugged truck built for work, play, and everything in between. So get off your keister and get to Heister today. See dealer for details. Hurry to Ram Truck Month at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And are you ready for relatable topics? That's right, my bracket stinks. So does yours. So new customers at FanDuel can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins, $200 extra bucks to bet on anything from clutch shots to last-second heartbreaks, even who's cutting down the nets. Hey, you can get in whenever you like. If you have been waiting to join, no better time. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. That's FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Look, the team you didn't think is going to win probably will. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Smart homes, virtual assistants, and AI. Imagine what the next 10 years will bring. At Lumos, we have. With 100% fiber internet built for the future, you're ready for whatever comes next. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader. 99.9 The Fan. Feature presentation.
Here comes an opportunity. Jankowski scores! Welcome to Raleigh, Mark Jankowski. He's got the Canes up 1-0. Got in front. It's on the goal line. They score! His second of the game. Oh, what a debut! And the adrenaline's really pumping now for Mark Jankowski. 2-0. Canes over the Jets.
This is Canes Corner on 99.9 The Fan, presented by Storm Brew. Now here's your host, Mike Maniscalco.
More importantly, a guy who made quite the introduction, Mark Jankowski with us, everybody. It's It's a good way to say hello to a new town, scoring 2 goals against the best team in the NHL. Not too shabby.
Yeah, definitely a good introduction to the city here.
So let's walk us through everything. First off, he's going to catch Alexander Ovechkin. I did the math in about 15 seasons if he stays on this pace. So you'll get right there, and that's phenomenal. But you couldn't have drawn it up any better. Have you had a chance to exhale, or is it still just you've gotten traded, you score 2 goals every other game, which makes the fans happy, you score a goal every other game, which makes the fans really happy when we're doing all of the math, and I was told there would be no math. But has it been a blur, or have you had a chance to kind of exhale and settle down now?
Definitely when I first got here, it was a whirlwind. It was a blur. I got traded, and I think I was on a flight to Raleigh in a couple hours. So it was all so crazy, and then a game in a couple days. And, that first game just kind of blew by so quickly. I couldn't even really imagine what happened and believe what was happening. And definitely now it's starting to calm down a little bit, starting to relax and kind of get my way around the city and get to know the guys a little bit more and stuff like that. But yeah, for the first week or so, it was a whirlwind.
When you got traded, did you know it was something that was happening? Did you get a phone call? Because your trade didn't really get announced until after the deadline. So did you know before, or were you sitting there at like 3:00 going, "Oh, I'm good. I'm staying in Nashville and we'll figure it out," or you get a phone call at like 2:50, 9:50? And it's Barry Trotz saying, "Mark, I've got some news for you. You need to call this guy here in Carolina."
Yeah, no, I had no idea whatsoever. You always see like rumors on TV and stuff, and people's names are thrown out there, and I didn't see my name at all, so I wasn't really thinking too much of it. I actually had a buddy in town in Nashville. We were hanging out all day, went to lunch, and then went back home to my apartment. Was just kind of relaxing, and this was a couple hours after the deadline. Deadline was 2:00 Central, and this was 4:00, and so I'm thinking, okay, deadline's over, nothing's happening. And then I hear my phone vibrating beside me, and I look at it, it's Barry Trotz. I'm like, well, there's only one reason he's calling me today. So, he called me, told me I got traded, and then after that it was, Tulsky called me, the team services person in Carolina's calling me, trying to figure out flights. Am I going to come in that night, the next morning? And so everything it was a whirlwind. I turned to my fiance, say, I just got traded. I don't know what's happening now. And it all happened so quick. But yeah, it was definitely, I wasn't really thinking of it.
So you get the phone call, and now, like you say, you're getting all of these other calls to get you ready. Is there that moment, and I know everybody always wants to know, when a player gets traded, what are X, Y, and Z? So what flight did you take? Did you get out of there right that evening in Nashville, or you're like, no, I'm going to spend the night here? Maybe I dreamt that Barry called me, wake up and, do the Kramer from Seinfeld, or the George, you just keep showing up to work going, no, you didn't trade me. I'm here. What was that next 24 hours like? Did you leave the next day? And, of course, everybody always wants to know, is there a hotel waiting for you? Is there somebody volunteering to take you in? You spend the night. How does that next 24 hours work for you coming here to Carolina?
Yeah, so like I said, I got the call around 4:00 Central, and then a few minutes later, I got the call from the team services in Carolina trying to figure out what the plan is. And I think the next day, there was a practice the next day and then a game right after. And we were coming off a day off in Nashville, so I didn't want to go 2 days off right into I think it was an afternoon game too, so we didn't even have a pregame skate or anything. So they were saying you could fly in the next morning, but you'll miss practice, or you could try and get out this night. So we looked at the flights, and there was a flight going from Nashville to Raleigh at 9 p.m., I think. So it was, like I said, maybe a 5-hour turnover between the 4:00 call and 9 o'clock flight. And then, they took care of everything. They booked the flights. They were so good. There was someone there at the airport to meet me, go get my rental car, take me to my hotel. It was top-notch service, just being able to, because you have so many things going on in your mind trying to figure everything out, and they made it a whole lot easier for me. So that was a really great experience for me to be able to do that so quickly.
Now, you've been through going to different teams in your career, but when you do it during the season and you walk into a locker room, are you looking around and you're looking for a familiar face, or you're like, you looked at the roster and you're like, well, I know this guy, or I played against this guy. What's that like? And then you walk in the room and everybody looks at the new guy. So how is this? I'm going to cheat here. He gave a fantastic quote about meeting the Canes and fitting in right away, but is it one of those things? It's like that first day of school again, and you're walking on, hi guys,
Yeah.
my name's Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've like you said, I've changed teams multiple different times, but that was always, in the summer, never a trade in season. So when you're going into training camp, there's always a lot of new faces, so you're not really the only new guy. And then, this was the first time this had happened to me in season. So I was talking to my fiance, like, I'm actually like kind of nervous, kind of jittery. Like you said, first day of school, like going into a whole new locker room. I'm looking at the roster, and I didn't really know anyone that well. I had met a couple guys, Roslovic, Robinson. I had met them through mutual friends and stuff, but like I didn't really know them too well. But when I got here, just right from day one, it helped me real settle down. Like everyone was so welcoming. The locker room, the culture here, it's incredible. So just being able to go into that locker room and just kind of feel at home, I think has really helped me in that transition.
And how does it feel to, in one game, become the most popular guy with your teammates, scoring 2 goals against the Winnipeg Jets?
Yeah, that was that was a great feeling as well. Like I think I was saying, like I almost like kind of blacked out. I don't really like remember what was happening. It was just kind of a whirlwind. One day I'm getting traded, the next day I'm playing and I'm scoring 2 goals right away. It all happened so quick. But then it was awesome. Like all the guys were super happy for me. You could tell, like talking to the guys, seeing them on the bench and in the locker room after. It was a really cool feeling.
And when you look at this team and where you're coming from, and you played your ex-team last night. So let's get this one out of the way. I've heard this a billion times. You have played against former teammates, so you've gone through, but everybody says it's so tough. And I have to think it's even harder because it's in season. You were just there a couple of weeks ago. Was it hard to play against your former teammate and, the guys that you've been suiting up with for the majority of the year, or is it easy? Because, hey, I've practiced against these guys. It's just another game. What's your mentality towards that?
I wouldn't say it was hard, but it was weird. It was a weird feeling, like being there so shortly ago. Like I was only there a couple weeks ago, and like you said, I've played my previous teams before, maybe a year later or throughout the season later, but only a couple weeks. That was a weird feeling, going up against them, looking over at the other bench, seeing all the players that I've played with for the last season and the coaching staff and everything, the trainers. And it was, you just try and compartmentalize it, just kind of like brush it aside and say, okay, for the next 60 minutes on the ice, like I'm focusing on me, my game, and, I'm not thinking of anything else. And then after the game, you catch up with the guys and you see them and stuff. And it's great to see them. We were joking around, like it's almost like I never left because it was so short ago. But it was, it was definitely one of the weirder games that I'd played.
I normally try to keep the inside baseball stuff there, but did you, because a lot of the calls when a puck is in a certain place, if somebody's going to call for the puck for Nashville, and you also have that entrained in your mind. So did you have the puck, and did any of your former teammates start saying things and you're looking, going, oh, I can't throw the puck there? Or did you do that to somebody else, And we're all good friends with Brady Shea in this room, correct? Yes, we are. So, you could have just been going Shazy and, seeing if you could get Brady to give you one more assist. It wouldn't show up on the score sheet. But how does that work? Where guys try to – it's not necessarily chirping you, but, a little gamesmanship, as we call it.
That didn't really happen last night. I feel like just like kind of around the league, guys know guys' nicknames. So that can just even happen without being on that team before. Yeah. Like, Janko or Shazy, or like you can kind of try and trick guys just throughout the league. But, last night I didn't hear anyone yelling Janko for a drop pass, so that was good. But, yeah, seeing Shazy again, too, like that was great. I know everyone loved him here. Like I loved my time with him in Nashville. He was a great guy, great player, and, I know he definitely misses it here as well, but, he's loving it in Nashville, too.
Well, I think we are loving that Mark Jankowski is here in Carolina right now, and the fit has been great. He's our guest here on Canes Corner on 99.9 The Fan here at the Local. So why has it worked so well quickly? What is it about the system where it seems that you have played this your whole life? There's normally a learning curve, and we can refer to the goals that come into it, but the way that you played, it seems like it just fits for you. What is it about how the Canes play where, how much video work have you done with Jeff Daniels, or is this just a simple, I like how this team plays and it suits how I like to play?
I think it's a combination of things. I think just coming in right away and just that first being able to feel comfortable in the locker room and comfortable with the coaching staff. When I got here, talking to Jeff Daniels and talking to Rod and talking to Gleese, with the PK and stuff, like it's they've been able to, kind of throw things at me and say kind of this is what we do here, but they weren't like trying to like overstimulate me and saying like, you know what, this is, our system and stuff, but just go out and play your game. Like, we know what you can do, just go out and play and feel comfortable. And I think the combination of all that has just been kind of, it's been kind of working out. And then, building chemistry with my line mates and, just playing with some great players. And it's just been, I think it's a combination of everything that's been working so far.
When you see this team, and this is kind of good for me because I can get a scouting report from you, what is it that when the Carolina Hurricanes are going, they're doing well? What are the things like when we're watching, when you're like, no, this is it, we're on tonight? What have you noticed? This is right now the hallmark of Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Extremely hard to play against, fast, in your face, like no time to breathe. And, especially in this building, like with the fans behind them, it's like in my career, one of the hardest places to play, if not the hardest building to play in. And so I know the team, and especially since I've been here, we've been you get behind the fans and you feel that energy in the building. And it's just the style that they play, in your face, fast, like not giving the other team any chance to breathe and stuff like that. And that's, it's definitely a lot more fun being a part of it than playing against it.
Well, I think that works, and you get thrown into a road trip too early. Like, and it's not just, hey, we're going up to Washington, D.C. and back. You got to go across country. Does that help? Because now you get to hang out with the guys. You get to find out where you're going to sit on the plane for the rest of the season and how that moves forward. Is that good for you that you had a chance and maybe you get you do a dinner, you go out with a couple of the guys? We always talk about team building. Is that overblown, or is this such a good group of guys you had to be like, I got to say no to this guy for this dinner. I got to try to work this one. Like, how did the dinner card get filled on the road trip for you?
No, it's great. I think the road is like one of the best times to bond with your teammates and get to know the guys and everything. So I was super excited and learning that we were going over to California almost right away when I got here. So it was, it was a great road trip. I think we were playing in San Jose, and that night before the game, I was out to dinner with 12 guys. So, I mean, there's no better way to bond with, 12 different teammates and going out to dinner, talking. And it was a lot of fun. And just, that whole road trip, the plane ride and everything, and just being able to hang out with the guys a lot more. Obviously, when you're at home, you have your families and stuff, and you see each other at the rink. But on the road, you're together all the time. You're going to dinners, you're at the rink, you're at the hotel and stuff like that. So I think that part of it, being able to have that road trip early on, was really helped me kind of get more comfortable with the guys.
You found chemistry, it seems, right away with Eric Robinson and Tyson Jost. Sometimes, you go a whole year looking for chemistry with a line mate. Sometimes you find it, your first practice, you're like, oh, this is going to work. This is going to be good. What is it about the trio, you guys together, that has been pretty effective? I mean, you guys come away with pucks in the corners. The scoring chances have clearly been there for you guys. Why have you enjoyed being in the middle of those two players as your wingers?
It's been awesome playing with those two guys. I mean, they're extremely easy to play with. Like, they work hard, both of them. They get on the forecheck. They retrieve pucks. They can make plays when they have the puck. You know where we can read off each other. We know where each other are going to be on the ice. It's just really easy to play with them. Like, it's awesome, being able to have three guys that can kind of complement each other like that, can make plays, can go and, be tenacious on the puck, create turnovers on the forecheck, make plays. I mean, it's just, it's been a great fit.
Now, for you, and again, this isn't trying to throw any kind of shade on Nashville, but you're going from a team that was, they're fighting to just stay alive for the wild card, to now you're on a team where you're like, all right, we're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to have that postseason. What does that do for a player where you kind of, there's a second act to the season for you, instead of going, every game is a fight right now, or you're afraid to, make a mistake in this game where you have a little bit of runway, but that there's a postseason. What did that do for you? Because I'm sure that you knew in the standings when you heard it was the Hurricanes that you were going to, you're like, playoffs. All right, well, that's good. Now I'm going to have a whole bunch of friends asking for tickets who all of a sudden live in the Raleigh area.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was super exciting. Being able to go to a playoff team, that's what you play for. You play for the playoffs. So that's the most exciting time to play. That's the best type of hockey. And obviously, it was a tough year in Nashville that we had this year. We had a lot of expectations, and it didn't work out, and that's frustrating. And then when you hear the news you get dealt to a playoff team, a legit cup contender, it's exciting. And I'm just super looking forward to the playoffs, and everything I've heard about the atmosphere and the tailgating and everything. It sounds amazing.
Oh, wait till you get to game 83. Yeah, that's when it really gets. You think you've heard noise. you're not quite ready for it because it's coming. I got a scouting report on you from your head coach in Nashville, Andrew Brunette, and he said the one thing about Mark is he can do anything you ask him to do. And he says on the penalty kill, he's smart. You could put him on the power play. He can do all of these things. He wins faceoffs. And he basically just ran down like every box you want to check. So, one, when you hear that from your former coach, I imagine that makes you feel pretty good about, hey, I was noticed and that was a good thing for my coach. But second, how much pride do you take in, because I think you found it right away on the penalty kill here. It's kind of a special group that you get put into it right away. I mean, normally there's – I got to think more film on special teams in the PK, and you had opportunity like your first game. All right, go out there and help kill a penalty. So how much pride do you take in that? And then when others around the league recognize this is the ability and this is what you bring to a team.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something that I've always prided myself in, is to be something or someone that, the coach can rely on in every situation. Whether like you said, power play, penalty kill, we're up by a goal, we're down by a goal, just someone that's responsible, that the coach knows he can trust and put out in any situation. So a big thing for me in my career has been the penalty kill, and something that I've really took a lot of pride in. And I know this group, I think maybe we're number one in the league in penalty kill. So I'm coming into a really good group, a really good system, and everyone on this team I know takes a lot of pride in that PK. And so just being able to come in and try and help in any way I can has been great. And like I said, Tim Gleason has been great about helping me, showing me video, and kind of trusting me, putting me out in spots as well. So it's that part has been great. And then like you said, Bruno in Nashville, I loved my time with him. He was a great mentor to me, a great coach for me as well. And for him to be able to trust in me, and like you said, kind of name those things that he thought I did well means a lot.
Well, let's now ask about the interactions with your new head coach. And has anybody in the locker room tipped you off to, if you see Rod Brindamore in the weight room, you wait for him to finish before you go in and get your workout?
No, I've definitely seen him in there a few times. He's he likes his workouts, and that's great. You always hear rumors around the league about Rod the Bod, and it's it's awesome to see it in person. And you also hear rumors around the league of just what a great coach he is, what a great person he is. And I felt that right from day one. As soon as I got here, my first meeting, it's been a great experience so far, and it's I'm just I'm super excited to be able to continue to learn from him going forward.
Yeah, and so everybody's out there, even though you already knew it, now it's hashtag confirmed. He's Rod the Bod, and that's from Mark Jankowski. So, not my words, those are yours. Evidently, that rumor's been out there. I'd really never heard it before. Just kind of floating around there, but. Seeing your new guy, I can ask you a little bit more questions where some of the veterans who played for Rod might not give this open of an answer. How is he behind the bench? Like, can you hear him all the time, or are you just waiting for him to tap you or say, Janko, your line goes? Or is he active behind the bench as a coach? What's he like in game?
No, he's great. He runs the bench very well. Everything, like what line's going to be going up next, and he, if you do something well, he comes and tells you. And if, you do something, me being a new guy, and maybe if I did something wrong in the system, he'll say, hey, do this instead, and stuff like that. So no, he's been absolutely great. I've loved my time with him behind the bench so far.
And so far, everybody here in Carolina has liked the output that we've gotten from Mark Jankowski. 6 goals in 8 games. By the way, you had 4 goals on your first 4 shots on goal. I don't know if you knew that, but since they started keeping that stat, and I think it goes back to 1996, 97, or 97, 98, you are the only player in the history of the NHL to score 4 goals on his first shots on goal with a new team. And maybe in the history of the NHL. I mean, that's one of those things where, like, somebody's like, have you ever seen that? I'm like, I've never even heard of that. So how big does the net look for you right now, Mark?
I mean, it's finding me right now. The puck's finding me. Like I'm saying, I'm playing with some great players, and we're able to create some scoring chances, and it's going in right now.
And we're going to find out how it's going to continue and how he got here. More with Mark Jankowski, number 77 of your Carolina Hurricanes, here on Canes Corner, live at the local on 99.9 The Fan.
Move your sports day forward.
I love this time of year. You know, filling out the brackets, it's like going to the weirdest farmer's market ever. Yeah, I'll take some of those 15 seeds, couple of mid-majors, and what do you got on that top seed shelf there? No? Yeah, I'll take that second seed. All right, one bracket down, just 15 more to go.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
Ooh, with the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. It's bow time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
Genie log, day 12,302. The Powerball jackpot is over $475 million now. You can buy yourself anything with that. A yacht, a rocket ship, a mansion with a little guest mansion for your dog. You can afford a butler who's got a maid. I'll be in here forever.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $475 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Now here's a chance and he scores! My goodness! Mr. 2 goals, Mark Jankowski gets in, gets a step, and gets the Canes a 4-0 lead.
What a shot! And he's got his 4th as a Hurricane.
As we mentioned, that's 4 goals on 4 shots as a Carolina Hurricane. He now has 6 goals in 8 games, and I think it's 9 shots. So we got to work on that shooting percentage for you now, Mark. Mark Jankowski is our guest here at Canes Corner, live at the local on 99.9 The Fan. So let's find out, how does somebody who grows up in southern Ontario end up at a prep high school in Quebec to go play? You turn down playing junior to play college hockey. at Providence. And then, I don't know if you know this, like a lot of firsts we've determined so far with Mark here tonight. In the history of the NHL draft, you are the first player ever to be drafted out of a Canadian high school. Not American high school, but Canadian high school. So, I mean, you clear a whole bunch of bars and check some boxes here. So I've just got to think, growing up in Southern Ontario, you got to have to like hockey. We'll get into the family side of it in a minute, but was it something like you got into it early, your dad played, your grandfather played, and we'll get into that in just a moment, but you were going to play hockey, or were you like one of those guys early on going, I might play something else. I don't know if I want to play hockey.
No, it was always hockey for me. I have, like you said, a lot of hockey players in my family, starting from my dad. So, we were always watching hockey at home, watching hockey on TV, and we grew up in Hamilton, kind of in between Toronto and Buffalo. So we had season tickets to the Sabres, so we'd always be going to Sabres games, and I just fell in love with hockey right ever since I can remember. There wasn't a time where I didn't love hockey and didn't want to play hockey.
So I'd say it's worked out. Your grandfather played for the Blackhawks and the Red Wings, and you are the grandnephew of Hockey Hall of Famer Red Kelly. So, I mean, to say it's in your blood is not an understatement or an inaccurate thing to say. I got to ask you, grow up with a grandfather who played in the league. Your brother had an invite to play for Calgary for the Flames. Your dad played. I don't know of anybody else in your neighborhood unless, Wayne and Walter Gretzky would drive by every now and again from where they were. I have to think pickup games, street hockey, and pond hockey got pretty competitive for the Jankowski family.
Yeah. I don't think we ever got on the ice all together with my grandpa and my great uncle, but no, it was always awesome growing up, being able to talk to them about their hockey experiences, and their trophy rooms and whatnot were spectacular. So it's it was really cool to be able to have that kind of lineage in my family.
When did you know like that? Hey, my grandfather played in the league, and you're the guy who your grandfather knows your granduncle, he was pretty good. When did you know that, like, it right away? Or was just like, oh yeah, he's my granddad, he's really cool, he's got these great trophies in the room for something, he lets me and my brother play with him from time to time?
Yeah, no, like you said, when I was like really young growing up, you don't really think anything of it. That's just, that's my great uncle, that's my grandpa. You don't really think anything of it. And then when you get a little bit older and you start to look more into the history of the league and whatnot, and you kind of realize like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, my grandpa played in the NHL. That's awesome. My great uncle won 8 Stanley Cups. Like, that's pretty cool. But you don't really realize that as a kid. It's just like, those are family members. But no, when I grew up a little bit more, and it was a really cool thing to have in your family.
Yeah, that's got to be one of those things in the neighborhood where you're like, man, your family doesn't have a guy who's won 7, 8 Stanley Cups? Okay, well, when did you know? This is always like one of my favorite questions for players. When did you know you're like, I'm good? Like, there's maybe, and I hate to put it in the terms of like you could play in the league, but you're playing in a game, you get to a point, you're like, no, if I want to pursue this, I'm good enough. Was it somebody saying it to you, or you knew with a season or a year or two that put together where you're like, I might have a chance if I want to continue playing?
I mean, I always obviously wanted to. That was always my dream, my goal. But I would probably say my grade 12 year when I was at prep school, when I was at this kind of like unknown prep school in Quebec, and then all of a sudden we would have 100 NHL scouts at games, and then so that's kind of, I was like, oh, so this could happen. This is pretty good. But growing up, I was always like the smallest guy on my team. I was always tiny. My OHL draft year, I was 5'8". I never got drafted in the OHL, which is how I ended up going to prep school and then going to college after that. So it was always, that was always the dream. I never really lost that. I always wanted to. Everyone has their own path and their own way, and I always wanted to do whatever I could to try and make it, but it was probably that grade 12 year.
So you go from 5'8" to, I'm going to go 6'2", 6'3" in about 3 years?
Yeah. When I got drafted, I think I was probably 6'2", 6'2.5", and then up to 6'4" now. So that time between grade 10 and grade 12 was probably 5'8" to 6'2.5".
Another first, somebody wooed a height here on Kane's Corner. So You want to go 6'4 1/4 and see what we can come up with? I'm sure your parents must have loved that too, because you're going through a brand new wardrobe every other summer, and your hockey equipment, as we all know, is super cheap. So going from different hockey equipment for 3 years, did that? A lot of times when you hear athletes go through a growth spurt, that kind of sets them back a little bit, because you got to get used to playing at, I know it sounds weird, at a different height. Okay, we didn't get anything after that one. But was it weird, or did it just, you didn't even notice it? You just went out and kept playing. You knew clearly you knew you were growing, but it didn't affect how you played.
A little bit of both. It was a little awkward, at some points, trying to the different skating stride, and you have to get a different stick size all the time and stuff like that. But
big equipment fan, and we're gonna keep it clean. It's a family show. It's 7:31 in the evening. Thank you.
But yeah, I just tried to go and roll with it, and just try and play my game, play hockey, and just kind of let the rest take care of itself. All
right, be honest. When you realize you got, you grew, I'm setting us up for a lot of things here, Mark, so I apologize in advance. But, there's always one guy on one team who's kind of the bigger guy, and then he stops growing and everybody grows past him. And you're like, did you get it? Was there one of those guys you're like, I can't wait for this year because we're going to go in the corner, and one of us is coming out, and it's not going to be him?
I'm not going to name any names, but there are definitely some guys back home growing up and, being in the Southern Ontario area, the Toronto area. There's so many guys, great hockey players growing up in minor hockey, and some guys that grew a lot earlier and that were very big, and you're always like, oh my gosh, that guy's huge, wow, this guy's gonna be good. And then I go away to prep school, and then I come back, and now I'm a couple inches taller than this guy, and so it's just it's kind of weird how that happens. But no, I'm not gonna out anyone.
No, not naming names. I'm just saying there was a moment where you're like, okay, can't wait for this game to happen. But you choose Providence. You had a whole bunch of schools that were knocking on your door too, because I believe your senior year, 53 goals in 57 games. Mm-hmm. That's pretty. Or was it 57 goals in 53 games?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Let's go with the 57 goals in 53 games. Without that one. Yeah. We can edit this in post if we need to. When you start getting that college interest, and I think that's the one thing now for a lot of folks here in the States, for years, college hockey was kind of, you couldn't play junior if you were a Canadian. Now we see so many great Canadian players are choosing to play college hockey. One, what was that experience like for you? And two, and you can flip-flop the answer here, why was Providence the place for you to go to?
Well, starting off, my dad played college hockey. He played at Cornell. So growing up, we'd go to Cornell games. It wasn't too far down the road. So, I always wanted to play college hockey. And like you said, in that Southern Ontario or just, Canada in general, people didn't really know much about college hockey back then. So you weren't really getting a lot of Canadians. All they knew was major junior, OHL, WHL, stuff like that. And luckily enough, my dad had played college, so I knew about it, and that was kind of always the route that I wanted to go, whether I could even go in the OHL or not. I didn't get drafted, but and then Providence was one of the first schools that really reached out and showed a lot of interest in me, and that meant a lot to me. And there were a bunch of different schools, and I just felt a connection with the coach, Nate Lehman, and visiting the campus and everything, and the vision that he had for the team. And it was, the best choice of my life. It was the best 4 years of my life, and I loved my time there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think 6 of your teammates from your time there have made it to the NHL. I mean, that's a pretty good squad that the Friars were able to put together on the ice, and I know that's one of those bonds that will always stick with it. What was the best maybe piece of information you were given in college or through that route as you were getting ready, because you get your name called in the NHL. We'll get to that in a second, but was there a piece of information that was given you, maybe your dad because he played it? And by the way, Cornell was a hockey factory. For those of you who do not know, if you played for the Big Red, you're a good player. Was there a piece of information about, hey, stay, or, if you want to go, when the time is? What was maybe that really solid piece of hockey advice you were given?
I would say one of the big things is just be where your feet are. I think, a lot of people, if you're going, whether it's junior or college, you're always looking forward. And obviously you want to play in the NHL and you want to play pro hockey. That's the ultimate goal. But I think you can kind of, you can get, caught up in looking ahead too much, and you don't really get to fully experience and embrace where you are. And that's why I say, like, the college, Providence College, is the 4 best years of my life. And, you really just try and be where your feet are and, focus on, your teammates and, playing hockey at Providence. And then, the rest will all take care of itself. You don't want to get caught up in all the other stuff too early, and just let the rest just take care of itself.
All right, but you're a first-round draft pick. 21st overall. Was that surreal that you heard Mark Jankowski, first-round draft pick, Calgary Flames? What was that like? Did you knew right away, or did somebody have to tell you that was your name? You've got an NHL ticket punched for you right now.
Yeah, no, that was a crazy experience. That one I don't remember going on the stage. I blacked out on that one. I shook Gary Bettman's hand. Don't remember it. It was just that was a whole whirlwind. Just being a 17-year-old kid, getting drafted in the first round with all like the media you have to do, all the interviews and stuff, the pictures, and it was just that was a really cool experience. And just being able to see the emotion on my family, having my family there, hugging everyone, and seeing them, because you get drafted, you go through this whole media thing, you don't see them again for 3-4 hours, and then seeing them after that and just how happy they are and the emotion on everyone's faces, that was a really cool night.
Who cried first, mom or dad?
Dad.
It's always the way. Hockey moms are tough. We all know this. Yeah. So, and it's you go through that process, and as you say, you blacked out, but you do the media car wash, which, by the way, another first. Mark Jankowski has talked to Hannah Yates in the media on TV. It's you played 8 games, and I think you have been interviewed in 6 of the 8 games. So that's also a record here with the Carolina Hurricane. And you can clap for all of that. I mean, it's all good. But when you get to the NHL for the first time, like, what is the biggest difference? What is the jump when you get on that ice? And it could be for the rookie training camp, or it could be your first training camp. When is there that moment of, oh, this is different? This is not the hockey that I've been playing for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's that first training camp. You see all these established NHL players and NHL stars, and just, you're in the training camp, and then your first couple preseason games, and it's just like the speed and the skill, and everyone's top level, and there's no easy shifts, there's no easy games, there's nothing. Like, everything, you have to be at your best every single night, every single shift. And I remember one of my first training camp practices, we were doing like a little corner battle thing, and I think it was Troy Brouwer, when I was on Calgary, had the puck in the corner, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go. I'm not going to run him, but like I'm going to get him off the puck, and I'm going in as hard as I can, and then just a little reverse hit, and I'm on my butt, and it's just like, oh, yeah, these are men now.
Old man strength is a real thing.
Yeah.
But you've also been in the locker room with, and it doesn't matter if it's, for training camp or a regular season or whatever. This year, Steven Stamkos, who was the number 1 overall pick, you were in Buffalo, where they've had players come and go. By the way, Taylor Hall, who was a number 1 overall pick, who's here right now, who, by the way, has been playing pretty well. If we've noticed, he's, it took him 21 games to catch you in 8, not to try to create anything here. But, you look around, you've been around Sidney Crosby in rooms and guys like that. Is it one of those things when those guys talk, everybody's like listening and you're listening in on it? What's it like to be around players who have, really accomplished huge things in the league, especially for young guys?
Yeah, it's unbelievable being able to be in the room with some of these guys, and they've accomplished so much. They've won MVPs, they've won Stanley Cups. Like they know what it takes to get the ultimate goal, and when they talk, you listen, because you just know that they know what it takes, and they've been through it. And it's it's really cool to be able to learn from some of these guys and be on different teams and get it from different angles and see everyone, kind of how they view things. And it's a really, really cool, and I feel really appreciative to be able to meet all these guys and really learn from everyone.
Is it kind of weird? Did you ever have that one moment where you're lining up? Like, we had talked to Jackson Blake the last time we were here, and he's like, I'm lining up, and I'm like, that's Sidney Crosby, or that's, did you have that moment early? Like, you're taking a draw, and you're like, what am I doing here? Did you have that moment or no?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Just my first ever NHL game was against the Islanders, and Our line was out there for a while. We iced the puck, so we can't change. Out comes John Tavares, and he's like, pick on the young kid. But so I'm taking the face off against him, and I'm like, oh wow, like me against John Tavares. Luckily, I won it, and we got off the ice. But it's that was probably the first time where I'm lining up against a superstar.
And I mean, easy. You win the draw and you go to the bench. It's an easy game we're finding out here tonight. Mark Jankowski is our guest. When we come back, you talk about all different angles. We go to the internet for questions. I'll do my best, but we'll find out what you have to ask. The Canes, Mark Jankowski here on Canes Corner on 99.9 The Fan.
The Adam Gold Show.
Hey, I know Cooper Flagg didn't win all of the awards. He won the 2 major ones. He got Player of the Year. He got Rookie of the Year. Neither were unanimous, which blows my mind. But he should have won Defensive Player of the Year as well. And John Shire was the Coach of the Year. Yes, I know Duke has all these great players. They were 19-1. They were 28-3. Historical point differential. Come on.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here at Coastal Credit Union 99.9 The Fan, and we're here to celebrate yet another Scholar Athlete. This month, we're at Middle Creek High School, where we celebrate our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Kristen Norton.
My parents have always been there for me. And then my teammates, they really help me with the mental part of it. So they really help bring me up when I make mistakes or something and just keep me grounded.
She's just a great person. She's a great leader by example and also vocally.
She's just that type of person. It doesn't matter what the situation is, anything that can help the team. She's a great young lady.
It's amazing to have on the team. She's a really good role model and a leader on the team. She's always first to step in and try something new to help the team. 1, 2, 3, Mustang!
What does winning this award mean to you?
It just means that all my hard work has really shown. Some days I'm like, what have I done? What have I accomplished? But getting this was people have actually seen my improvements and my accomplishments. So it's good. It's really good. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kristen.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
This is what breaking news on WREL sounds like.
A teenager accused of murder in custody tonight.
From the moments that matter.
Let's take a look at those live pictures right now from Sky 5.
When seconds count.
Authorities say they are very concerned for the safety of the public.
When your safety is the priority.
Breaking news right now, a large fire in eastern Wake County. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us.
Watch WREL News. Breaking news coverage you can count on.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Josti centers it. The score! Side of the net, Mark Jankowski. Jost sent it in. Jankowski was there. And stay hot, Mark Jankowski, his 6th goal with the Canes.
scored in 6 different ways. Canes centerman Mark Jankowski is our guest here tonight at Canes Corner at the Local here on 99.9 The Fan. All right, let's find out what this can go lots of ways. We've already found out that people are going to cheer your height and that you have to change different hockey stick sizes, and we'll leave it at that. Do we have another woo for that? Or are we okay? All right, thank you. All right, Queen of the Puck wants to know, soda pop time. Do you drink Sundrop or Cheerwine? It's the Southeast exclusives. If you've had them, have you tried them? And a recommendation for the former, which is Sundrop over Cheerwine.
No, I haven't heard of either of those, to be honest with you.
I'm going to tell you, as someone who has been a connoisseur of soda or pop growing up where I grew up, Cheerwine is basically, think of cherry syrup with more sugar poured into it, and it's carbonated. Am I wrong? Thank you. And Sundrop, isn't that like this version of Mountain Dew?
Okay. To be honest with you, growing up, I was never a pop guy. So I think just growing up, I didn't really like the carbonation of it or something. And so I've never really drank either of those. I'm going
to tell you, stay clear of both of them. Sorry, Queen. This is from, and I don't make up the names, Spookarask. It's not Halloween, but it's still a good name. Do you keep in touch with your Providence teammates, maybe with any of the guys who made the NHL? And somebody says, as a big Brandon Tanev fan, I love the college choice.
We keep in touch. We have a group chat for my class. We're talking almost every day. And then whenever you're playing against one of those guys, you're going out to dinner with them the night before, you're catching up after the game and stuff like that. So we all stay in touch quite a bit. And then this summer we're having our 10-year reunion of when we won the national championship. So we're all getting back together and hanging out at Providence for that.
All right, I don't know if we can do this on it won't show up that much. There's a picture of Brandon Tanev. I'm going to show it to you. When did this start? For those of you who don't know, those of you who have your computer phones here, a.k.a. iPhone, smartphones, this is what Brandon Tanev looks like in all of his photos. He says he sees a ghost in them, and that's why he makes his face. So who dared him in college? Because that has to be where this started.
Funny thing is, I think the first one of that was in Pittsburgh, and we lived together when we played for the Penguins together. So I was with him when that happened. I don't know why he did it. I don't know how it started, but ever since, I feel like the eyes get bigger and bigger every year. But, yeah, they love it. Fans love it.
Do you have any weird traditions, or I don't want to call it a superstition, but anything like that? Like people would be like, oh, it's kind of.
No, I don't think I'm very superstitious. I don't really have anything like that. I think Tanny's the one that he takes the boat.
Oh, clearly on this one. Sue wants to know, since you've arrived here so quickly, has your fiance joined you here in Raleigh?
She has not. She's actually, we had a bunch of movers coming to our place in Nashville today, so she had to overwatch all that, and so she'll be getting here tomorrow, finally.
Good, because I didn't know if there was a PS to that question, but Sue, he still does have a fiance, just so you know. There's nothing else to that. Moving on, I know it must have been strange for you to be traded from a team and then play that same team a couple of weeks later. We kind of got to this a little bit, but did you meet up with any of your former teammates in town?
I did. We went to dinner. I went to dinner with a few of them the night before the game, and then after the game, pretty much everyone was able to. I was able to see everyone and just kind of talk to them, see how things are going, and so I was able to meet up and catch up with pretty much everyone.
All right, Andrea wants to know, who are your top artists on your Spotify Wrapped? Do you have Spotify? And if so, who were the top artists?
I do Apple Music, and so I think they do the same sort of thing. And number one was Kygo, for sure. That's kind of my music. I mean, I like kind of everything, country, but number one would probably be Kygo and like that style of music.
All right. Moving on. Are there some places in North Carolina or Raleigh that you want to visit or have visited?
I haven't really been able to experience North Carolina too much. I've heard a lot about the beaches are 2 hours one way and the mountains are 2 hours the other way. So correct, I'm super looking forward to checking all that out when I can.
Yeah, and it's a easy drive for most of them. So you can enjoy that. Outer Banks, or is there a different place where you should go? See, this is the great part. There's going to be like 9, and you can just explore it all in the summertime. It's
Perfect.
great. Here's a good question from Carrie. We found out about your path to the NHL. Did you play any other sports growing up?
I did. I played baseball growing up. Well, I played a bunch of sports like as a kid, and then competitively, I played hockey in the winter, baseball in the summer. Baseball, I played right up until the summer I was drafted in the NHL. I was playing competitively, so those would be the 2 big ones.
Leafs fan. I was going to go with Blue Jays fan growing up then.
I was a Yankees fan.
You're a good man.
Yeah.
You're a very good man. Somebody, it's, if you don't like championships, that becomes a you thing. That's what I tell everybody. You think we're obnoxious, we'll just lean into it. That's how it goes. What is the reasoning, Sam, he wants to know, what's the reasoning behind your jersey number? A story or just given to you?
I was always 14 growing up, kind of a family number. My grandpa was 14. And then when I got to Calgary after I got drafted there, it wasn't retired, but they weren't giving it out. It was Theo Fleury. So my first training camp, I had 77. They kind of told me, 7 + 7, 14. Like, do you like it? And I said, yeah, I like it. I'll just keep it. And that's that was the story behind that. And I love it. I had it in Calgary, and now I'm excited to wear it again here.
So there you go. Good answer to that one right now. Mike wants to know, everybody talks about how the Canes locker room is so welcoming. Are there locker rooms where they're not? I'm not going to read the postscript to this one, but basically just wants to know why is it welcoming? Have you been to a spot where maybe it's not? Or it's a different league now?
Yeah, I mean, like the locker room here, just everyone was just so great and reaching out as soon as I got traded. And then when you get here, talking to you and, trying to help you out and say if you need anything, any recommendations for dinner spots or where to live, stuff like that. Like, everyone was just so amazing and like easy to talk to, and there's no egos, there's no like anyone thinks that they're better than everyone else, and it was just like a really easy transition to be able to come here.
You might have kind of answered the question already. Besides all the winning, what's your favorite part of being a Hurricane? Amy wants to know.
Favorite part of being a Hurricane, honestly, right now, just living in Raleigh and getting to know the area, the people, like everyone. It's just made such a great experience being able to transition here so far. So I'd say that's the biggest thing.
Sean wants to know, in a recent video, you said that you enjoyed watching Maxim Afinogenov when you were a kid. What was it about his game that you enjoyed watching?
Oh, he was just so fun to watch. He was electric with the puck. His skating, his speed, his skill. I feel like anytime he was on the ice, anytime he had the puck, something exciting was going to happen. So just being a kid, being a Sabres fan, I always loved watching him. Having when he had the puck, being able to watch games, it was a really fun person to watch.
Man, he wore 61. 6 + 1 is a 7. Part of your number. Just throwing that out there. I mean, it just all comes together if you're into that stuff. Did you fill out a March Madness bracket? If yes, how's it doing?
I did. It's not doing well. I think my winner is still in, though. I have Tennessee winning, and they're still in, right?
They're still in.
Yeah. All right. So I have a chance.
I think everybody in the SEC is still in it. Last time I checked, it looked like. What made you decide to wear the neck guard, and how long have you been wearing it?
I started wearing it early last season, just, with all the stories and the accidents that have happened. They brought it into our locker room and said whoever wants to try it can try it, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. And I threw it on one practice, and I didn't really feel it at all, didn't really notice a difference, so I just thought, why not? Like, I don't want to have it in the back of my mind, like, out on the ice, like, oh, like, I don't want this to happen or something like that. It's just a little bit of peace of mind, and I don't really notice it, so I just thought, why not?
It's one of those things. No, absolutely. I wonder, it's a personal choice right now, but I do wonder because, you watch the game, if it's going to become a little bit more, not even, I don't want to say in fashion, but a little bit more guys are going to go to that because how fast this game is played now. Things happen, and it's an accident when you see it, but we saw an incident the other night. We've seen it with the socks. That's been a big improvement. So, yeah, I think it's great that you're wearing that. And this will go, I guess, along these same lines, sort of. Do you own your own memorabilia, like jerseys, puck, sticks from your previous stops?
Yeah, pretty much every team that I've played on in pro hockey, I think I have a jersey from. So that's cool. I think that's something that I want to be able to get framed one day and be able to put it up in my basement or something. The different teams and stops along the way, and then a couple sticks here and there, some important ones. Stick from my first NHL game, stick from my first NHL goal, my AHL All-Star stick. Just like things like that. I've kept along the way as well.
Do you have your 2 goals from your first game in a Carolina Hurricanes uniform still?
I do.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you needed to know. And the last question, I told you I don't pick them, or at least I don't write them. Your favorite Disney movie, if you have one.
Oh, favorite Disney movie.
Well, you've got it. There's thought to it so clearly.
Yeah. No, I love Disney movies. I have to admit, I wasn't like a big Disney movie person growing up, and then my fiance, huge Disney movie person. So I've seen them all now. But I'd say The Lion King. That's a classic. That's a good one. I'll go with that.
6 goals in 8 games. Thanks for joining us here tonight, Mark. It's been a blast. Mark Jankowski of your Carolina Hurricanes. Canes take on Montreal Friday. You can hear it on 99.9 The Fan. Go to the arena. Watch it on FanDuel Sports Network. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy the hockey, everyone.